Today we're going to be making an apple chutney crostini with goat cheese. It's a quick and easy appetizer that you can make with ingredients that are probably already in your pantry. The first thing we're going to do is start the chutney, and all you need is about 2/3 cup of rice vinegar. We're going to put it in a medium-sized heavy-duty saucepan, and then I'm going to add a cup of really packed brown sugar. Then we're going to take it over to the stove and put it over medium heat until the sugar has dissolved. The next step is to chop your ginger and your garlic. So we're just gonna quickly pop the garlic open. Skin will peel right off. Pull my garlic clove towards the end of my cutting board, and my cutting board is towards the end of the counter. I'm gonna take the back part of my knife, I'm gonna come right down on that garlic clove. So I am crushing and mincing at the same time. You can turn your knife blade back over and go through it really quickly just to get it minced a little bit more, but this works best with fresh garlic. Then for your ginger, I'm actually gonna use a spoon to peel the ginger. We wanna lose just the skin. Then we're gonna cut the ginger into what I call coins, and that's when you're just cutting the round right off of the end of the ginger. You're gonna stack the coins on top of each other, and then you're gonna cut them into strips. And then you're gonna turn the strips to the side, and you're gonna dice them as evenly as you can. And it's very important to get things diced as evenly as you can so the flavors are spread evenly throughout your dish. So my sugar has melted quite nicely into the vinegar. So I'm adding the garlic and the ginger, plus I am adding a cinnamon stick, as well as a few pieces of star anise. The next thing we're gonna do is chop the apples while the vinegar mixture is boiling down to a syrup. We're using Granny Smith apples because they can withstand the heat and they won't become mushy. So the first thing I wanna do is cut the top and bottom off of my apple to give myself a couple of flat surfaces to work with. Next, I'm gonna peel it. The easiest way to do it is try and do it all in one fell swoop. Voila, there we go. Put the apple on its flat side, and you're gonna cut it directly through the middle. And the next thing you wanna do is core it. And the easiest way to core it is with a melon baller. So you wanna take your melon baller, you wanna take out the little pieces on the top and the bottom of the core, and there you've got your nice peeled cored apple. We're gonna cut the apple into planks, and then we're gonna turn the planks to the side, and we're gonna dice the apple. And again, it's very important to dice as evenly as you can in order for the apples to cook evenly. My rice vinegar mixture looks nice and syrupy, so it is time to add our beautifully chopped apples. We're also gonna add a cup of golden raisins. We're gonna let this cook down for about 10 minutes. We want the apples to get tender, but not mushy. While the apples are cooking down, we're gonna chop our tomatoes and mint, which are gonna be the last ingredients to go into our apple chutney. Put your tomato on its side on the cutting board. Gonna cut right next to the core, almost all the way down, and then you're gonna turn it about 1/4 of a turn using your knife to flip up that piece of the tomato. And then you're gonna continue to do the same thing all the way around the tomato. Now I've got my core cut out, and I'm simply gonna use my thumbs to de-seed the tomato. And then I'm gonna cut it into strips, then turn the strips to the side and dice them. The next thing we're gonna do is we are going to chiffonade our mint. And chiffonade is a knife technique that you can use for any big leafed herb. And I'm gonna just stack the leaves on top of each other. And I'm gonna roll them into a really tight cylinder. I'm gonna cut the mint into really fine strips, and they come out in ribbons, which is a much better presentation. I'm gonna throw it into the tomatoes. Now that the apples are cooked down, I'm gonna transfer the mixture into a bowl so that it can cool down to room temperature. And I'm actually gonna pop it in the refrigerator, which will help it cool down a little bit faster. We're gonna take some beautiful French baguette, and you want it as fresh as possible. And we're gonna cut the baguette with a serrated knife, of course, into pieces about 1/2 inch thick. We're gonna put it into the 400-degree oven for about 5 minutes or until it's crisp. You don't want it to be too brown, but you do want it nice and crispy. And then once we get it out of the oven, we're gonna brush it with olive oil, and then we're gonna spread our roasted garlic. I put the whole head of garlic in foil in a 400-degree oven for an hour. And you take it out, cut the top off, and then the roasted garlic just squeezes right out. So we're gonna take a little bit of that roasted garlic, spread it onto our crostini, and then we're gonna take a little bit of our goat cheese and we're gonna spread that on top of the roasted garlic. We have our chutney that's come to room temperature and our tomatoes and mint that we're gonna add. But first, we have to take out our star anise and our cinnamon stick. We're gonna mix our tomato and mint into the apple mixture. We're gonna get it nice and combined, and then we're ready to top our crostini. So we're just gonna take a little spoonful of our crostini, put it right on top of that goat cheese. It's gonna be absolutely delicious. I sure hope you enjoyed the recipe. For more information, visit whiskedaway.net.